Hi-oh, beaver! Away!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ChrisCast Late Night Radio. We're going to be casting some amazing games today. Tonight, we have the UGC between two amazing teams, all going head-to-head in Week 10 game of the UGC Season 26, I do believe, is what the season is. And those teams are Gimme opponent versus Feila eSports. Two well-established teams duking it out and still fighting for that top spot in the league. My name is Jake, and today I am joined by none other than John Fortnite Kennedy, also known as Extrasolar. How you doing, my man?
Well, I'm doing alright, but you've just revealed my Suka identity, so not really too sure if we can still be friends, Jake.
Well, I had to, you know? John Fortnite Kennedy is a formidable name.
Of course. Well, yeah, we currently have, it's basically just... Gimme opponent is just Envision, but in UGC.
Right.
And it's playoffs, so, it's second week of playoffs so far, semifinals. Winner of this will be going into grand finals, I'm pretty sure. And then we've got the loser will be fighting for the bronze medal, the consolation prize, against the loser of the Art of Throwing versus Super Dickman's game. So, yeah, it should be pretty interesting. I mean, apparently there's a few issues about the time. I think there's rosters and such like, but by the time we're halfway through Steel, I think everyone should be connected.
Right, and what is actually good to point out is that for the first map at least, Joe and UFC and Layla will not be able to join us. They will be substituted by Coco on Medic, Adie on Spy, and then Nakari on Demo, which is not yet confirmed, but is very, very likely because the superstar pair of a Highlander is just kind of busy right now and cannot join us for this game. And as for maps that we're going to be looking at today, there are going to be 3 maps. It's going to be Steel with best of 1, so only one team will be attacking, the other team will be defending, and we'll see whoever is on top. Second map is going to be Product, which is best of 5, and will end up in upward best of 1 should we go to the third map.
Yeah, I mean, Feila without Joe and Layla, you just, that's just not a thing you expect to see. Not gonna lie, kind of namesake and everything, the Highlander power couple as they're lovingly called, but honestly, I think we are going to go to the third map if we haven't got, Joe and Layla, just because Joe calls so much. So I think they'll be missing a few of their vital calls, especially on a map like Steel. But I think it'll be alright. I think they'll put it back for the third map, but I think Gimme opponent, aka Envision, got the first map. And looking at the rosters, I mean, it's pretty much just
Stacked.
regular Feila, regular Envision, There's not too many differences.
Well, here's the thing about Steel, though. Steel is a very technical map, as we all know, and all that matters really is the preparation for this map. Whoever is prepared better will most likely play better and will win this map. We know that Envision have really kind of played this map a lot back in the day, and since their roster is pretty much virtually unchanged from the TF2 one, it's safe to assume that they've got this map covered. Now, with Feila kind of missing out on Joe and Layla, and on the first map, an as technical map as Steel is, by far the most technical map out of all that are played in Highlander currently, I just don't see Feila really taking this one at first. I mean, once Layla and Joe really do reconnect with us, and we can see them on Viaduct, I think they could probably turn it around, but we'll most likely see 3 games here, if not more, with the golden cap. I'm not sure if the golden cap is there. I'm just talking out of my butt.
Nah, but it's best of 1, Jake. It's fine. It's best of 1.
It's kind of fun, though. Yeah, I like the best of 1 idea because I keep droning on in various casts about how fatigue really comes into play late in the late stages of the game. If you play 1 game on Steel and then you play best of 5 on Koth, that's amazing because you haven't really played that much. You played 2 different maps and they didn't really take that much time. Now, we know that ETF2L is a league that kind of enforces those long sets of maps, especially for semifinals and finals, where we see best of 3 Steel, and then we see best of 5 Gollywash, and then basically the game lasts for 2 or 3 hours. We're tired, the players are tired, and it's just kind of you can see the lack of energy in late stages of the game, because it really comes in that fatigue that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, certainly. I think the best of 1, it is a bit of a double-edged sword though. Granted, your players will be a bit less tired, but again, you only get that 1 chance to attack and defend, especially on a map like Steel, where the map is so complex. If you make one mistake, it can eventually just snowball into you losing that round. In ETF2 regular season, you'd lose 2 points. It's not the end of the world, but if you're in playoffs, it doesn't really matter much if you lose that at all, because it's just the one round and you can still pull it back. But if you lose this one round, you can just drop the entire map, and then you move on to the next map, of course. But it's a bit of again, as I said, it's a bit of all or nothing, really. So it's a double-edged sword in that regard. Like, you are playing less, but you're also playing less.
I remember back in Season 6 of UGC, it's been 21 seasons ago, as Wiethoofd, who's in production today, has mentioned that it's the 27th season of UGC already. And I started back in Season 6, and I remember when we were playing this game, we're playing on Steel, it was one of the finals or semifinals, it was all or nothing, and we've been pretty much theocrafting this map, going A to E immediately, or try to go for different strategies. And this map kind of opens up those ideas and possibilities of different pushes, different styles of aggression and defense. And I think the AE strat, you should try it at least once, especially on Steel. But the problem with that is that if you play best of one, you don't really have that second round to kind of bounce off if it doesn't work. If one team really does push E point immediately and sets a very quick time, playing best of one, you're not going to have a good time. You're going to have to kind of play around it, be even more aggressive, but the other team will be ready for this, and they will be putting all their defenses on E, even kind of forgetting other points. And this is why I think the attacking team here, extrasolar, is just has an advantage, because they kind of get to dictate the rest of the game and how it's going to play out.
Oh yeah, certainly, but we've got to watch out for D-Toad's massive brain strategies, though. I mean, he's recently taken on, not gonna lie, I am one of the founding members of the Scottish Distance gang, and he has taken to putting some sticky bombs in the BC connector and around the E point there with the resistance, and of course that means you can have essentially 3 or 4 different sets of sticky traps that you can detonate at will. So once you've you've still got more sticks, So the AE strat, really, Steel is just one of those maps. It's one of the few maps where you really can actually use it at all, and it can still be sort of viable. But I think D-Toad, really, is there even a class that he hasn't played in Div 1 or Prem yet?
I don't think so.
I think he has played everything in a variety of teams.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him play on Pyro back in the day, and how he switched to Demo Man, and I think he had a quick stint with the heavy weapons guy.
Spy as well.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah, he's played pretty much everything, but that kind of gives him the edge, you might think that he's a jack of all trades but master of none, but you would be very mistaken, because D-Toad kind of is very keen on playing a certain class, certain season, and he's amazing at it. And at the same time, he knows how the rest of the classes kind of move and think and play. As a result, he can kind of really keep the edge over the enemy, no matter kind of what class he is playing.
Oh yeah, certainly. It helps to have the knowledge of every class, especially on a map like Steel, and I think that'll really play to their advantage here. Without Feila having the strong main calls to counter the side of Gimme opponent, I'm just going to say Envision, because that's basically what they are at this point. I don't really see them taking this about Joe and Layla, to be honest. But, product, I reckon, I'm not sure who's picked what maps, UGC's got a bit of a different map pick system to BTF2L.
Mm.
But, I think it'll be... I wouldn't be surprised if, Feila have done these map picks before and they've picked Steel, knowing that, obviously, Gimme opponents' ETF2L side had a bit of a weak showing at times against Weak 8 sellers last week on... that was CP Steel last week. So they lost the golden cap there. Against Weak Cake, so I think Feila would have been wanting to pick Steel against them, but suddenly Joe and Layla are otherwise engaged for the first map, sadly.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad, really, because right now we're just kind of waiting for the last players from Layla to connect. It's a bit delayed, as you all might have noticed. It's already 8 p.m. and the Central European time, or GMT, it's 7 p.m. So we're slightly delayed, but it's okay, we're still waiting. Yes,
7:23 p.m.
Actually, we're way late, 23 minutes.
That is another really big advantage of the best of one system, it means if you have roster issues and start the game 25 minutes late, you get to be finished by 21.
And we'll see, because there's a couple of games coming tonight, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to cast the second game tonight, which is at 9 p.m., or will we toss it, or we will toss it to the sixes, and we'll see how it goes. But there's definitely more TF2 action coming on tonight, so if you're tuned in already and waiting for our banter to finish, then you are in luck, buddy, as we're still continuing. And using this time, I'm gonna go into a little bit of an ad break, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, you may all very well know that there's Copenhagen LAN happening very, very soon in the middle of April, which is about 2 weeks from now on, where yours truly, Wiethoofd, and a bunch of other amazing people will be casting games on where Critscast, this channel exactly, Sixes and Highlander all together, some amazing prizes going on. So if you're feeling like, you can't really come with us, but you really do want to support this channel, just use your free subscription from Amazon, or buy one if you really have the money to spare, or support us over at critscast.com. There's merch links of amazing stuff, also created by this amazing community. So do check us out. And the ad break is over.
Oh, it's not quite over, Jake, because, we forgot to mention there that, you mentioned the Copenhagen Games and the Critscast merchandise and the channel there. Every subscription to the Critscast channel and every sale of Critscast merchandise will, in fact, support Copenhagen Games staff,
Right.
So it will go towards, just stuff like, maybe accommodation, maybe even things like flights, maybe even just get them a beer when they arrive, make the land a little bit better for everybody.
That would be really nice, because it's all very much community-based. Prizes that are sponsored have been kind of crowd-pulled by the community, as well as with huge help from Phoenix Red and eSports United. They've been amazing help thus far. They've pretty much organized the entire last season, or last year, Copenhagen. They've organized the entire this season, or this year of Copenhagen as well, and they've been just absolute amazing people to work with, amazing people to talk with. Huge thanks to them. Just kind of plugging them in as well. It's eSports United and Phoenix Red. And of course, like you said, anything that you buy, any way you support us will go back to the community, will allow us to produce even more content, will allow us to have better stuff, more casts going on. So please do check us out. But
yeah, we got 18 on the server.
Yeah, not droning anymore. I just want to say that. But yeah, we're not gonna do any more ads for now on. We're gonna go straight into game, hopefully, because those teams, Gimme opponent, Feila eSports, kind of late. We're still waiting. It's Steel, though. It's best of one, so we might be over quick, depending on who actually starts this game. If it's Envision, aka Gimme opponent, I really do think they're gonna go AE strat immediately, go for a quick cap and try to put the pressure onto Feila team. At the same time, I don't think Feila will put too much attention to this game. I kind of hope for Joe and Layla to come back in time and maybe help them out, because they basically are the biggest anchor of that team.
Well, no, speaking of, the teams, you want to just go down the roster real quick? I mean, I've got 18 on the server. I mean, we haven't really got much else to do now, have we?
Yeah, we exhausted the topic.
Yeah, you can start with Feila if you want.
Alright, the Feila eSports, ladies and gentlemen, the team has played UGC, played ETF2L, always been just a little bit short of the top gold medal. It's
silver,
on
to be
the
precise.
red. Yeah, I've been kind of on the silver side for a long time, but maybe this season we'll definitely see a change, maybe won't. We will see in the future, but for the Layla team, which is on the blue side of your spectator UI, is going to be V-Clocks on the Pyre class. Samsky seems to be the scout. Coco will be the medic tonight. Ghost Boy is on soldier currently. Rambazor, the engineer. And there is middle on the soldier class, Narkari, who is gonna be... Oh, is he? Well, then there you go.
Middle heavies now, yeah.
Middle is heavy now. They're just switching places in classes. Nakari will be substituting Joe on the demo class for tonight. Kazarok is, as usual, on the sniper rifle. And then Adie will be playing Spy as far as I know.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's working. We just had a re-exec apparently, so we're just not live just yet. It's like it's time to go through the Gimme opponent roster. It's pretty much identical to their ETFO roster, give or take a couple of players. So far we've got Cray on Scout, we'll have Dwo on Soldier, Rez on Pyro, D-Toad of course on Demo, Tuya on Heavy, Nipnop on NG, Nightmare's going to be playing Medic today, Sniper is of course Stingen, the manager, And Spy is evil. Not sure if that's a fake nick or, well, judging by the ping, I'm going to say it might be American, so I'm not too sure who they are.
Yeah, they have 2 Americans on the team as far as I know, or maybe just a little bit of a lag spike, but Evil and Nipnop both have high pings, which is safe to assume they're playing for a place far, far away. And ladies and gentlemen, the ones who've just joined us, welcome to Critscast. We're casting a game between Gimme opponent and Feila eSports. This is the semi-final game of UGC Season 27 match week 10, as we're slowly setting up fairly standard setup here on the B point. Just kind of light resistance with this reverse teleporter up top, so if people want to block this pathway on the side off, that's a really good place. There's Tuja there already positioned as the heavy weapons guy, and the gates are down now, Solar.
Yeah, I think they've currently got half of halfway just sitting AFK in spawn, so I'm assuming we've got a bit of a re-exec happening here.
Right.
Maybe a bit of a full start. We've already got someone timing out on Feila as well, so it's always a good way to start your Highlander match. So have someone time out instantly and re-exec the config. After all, it wouldn't be Highlander without it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just crossing off my square on the bingo sheet.
Yeah, I've always got one, actually. I mean, we've had, the late start, we've had...
the late start, there's always a timeout. Yeah, there's always a Merc problem, there's always a timeout, there's always late start, there's always, just kind of resetting after start. There's always some banter going on in the chat, not to call it, shit talking. There's always something, man, and you just gotta have a sheet, next time on... You know what? On LAN, I'm gonna bring some printed out sheets for people who are watching live, and I'm gonna give them out, and we're gonna play some TF2 bingo.
Well, maybe you just get some prizes going off that, maybe the entire Copenhagen prize pool is actually going towards Highlander bingo. I mean, the Highlander format, she's a cruel mistress, but we do love her regardless. Even, disregarding the logistical issues of getting 18 players into a server, and it's all working fine for 2 hours. But the things that we do for love.
Why would you watch 6 is just... It's a Team Fortress 2 fast-paced game, you're supposed to be playing 9 classes, yada yada,
Look, 6v6 is obviously the inferior format, because, there's less people on the server, right?
Yes!
Oh, Layla's back, apparently.
Whoa! So, was it all just a play for time?
Maybe, normally, the old-fashioned strategy of my teams, which I think a few Australian leagues have actually taken action against, was you'd ready up, and then you just pause, as soon as you've readied up, just use your 10 minutes of pause to get your last players in. And maybe we might be seeing the old tactical unplug the Ethernet cable from Professor Kazarok. You never know. Stranger things have happened in the Highlander format. And of course, Joe and Layla, I'm pretty sure they do live together. You would hope so. They've been together for a considerable number of years now. So, maybe they haven't quite gotten past sleeping in separate beds yet. But they take it slow. And they're living in the same place. So maybe they're just stuck in traffic or something, getting home. I think it'll be fine.
The power couple of Team Fortress 2. As we all know. I don't even know how many seasons they've played together, but that was since, lower leagues even. I remember, back in the day when we casted, I don't even remember, season 15, season 13, Layla and Joe were playing together. Even before that, when I was still playing, they were playing.
I've been playing since UGC season 13, and Joe and Layla were definitely playing together then. They've been playing together longer than I've probably playing TF2 at this point.
Pretty much. They kind of... I really commend them for that, because sticking together for this long, and, not only living together, maybe, hopefully, at the same time, playing Team Fortress 2 together for such a long time, that's gonna put a massive strain on your relationship, but it seems that Team Fortress 2, rather than splitting people apart, it really brings them together, and that's kind of wonderful in a way.
Aww. Jake, you're such a romantic.
Just hopeless. But we're getting a little bit of a word from Wiethoofd that they are live at 90. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to Critscast, as we're going to be watching Gimme opponent versus Feila eSports UGC Season 27. For those who just joined us, we're almost at the 100 people mark, which is amazing for a mundane evening. So, welcome very, very warmly. And, well, it's been April's Fool's, so have you been fooled yet?
Yeah, okay, stream's over, guys. See you later. Yep.
We've been fooled.
Yep.
It's
Bamboozled
bamboozled.
again.
God damn it. I just can't, man. Like, I hate this day so much because I want to kind of believe everything I hear because everything sounds so amazing, and then I just get disappointed over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, Discord removes the light theme. We got Payday 2 Battle Royale. I mean, you know, we got all the good stuff happening now.
Robin Walker is coming to Copenhagen.
Yeah, Half-Life 3's out. You know, everything's just happening now.
It's just like, this is the world I'd like to live in, but unfortunately, though, it's mostly just a joke, just like my life, so...
Wow. This stream got deep real fast.
Yeah, just kind of pre-game banter, man. It's like 34 past 7 for you guys, so 34 past 8, and we'll just started Steel between Gimme opponent and Feila.
Well, you know, on the bright side, Joe and Layla are on the server. So, you know, we can kind of... The game just got a lot more interesting, despite being delayed by another 20 minutes. You know?
Yeah, just play for time, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it worked. I mean, we've got... Wiethoofd is not on Scottish distance. I'm very disappointed in him because, you know, he blew the minds of the entire Twitch chat last game. Like, you know, Wiethoofd, like, what are you doing, man?
Well, he's just sticking with the regular old
Sticking with the stickies.
But we'll see how it
See
goes,
what you
man.
did
I
there,
mean,
Jake.
he might switch. He might switch this place first, at least on the B point. You kind of want to have the fast detonations rather than. Well, he did detonate. Is he actually going for the Scottish Resistance? Look at this. Where's Wiethoofd?
Oh, yeah, no,
There he
no,
is,
no,
on A.
no,
Yeah, he's going for it,
He's on
man.
it. He's on it. Yeah. Well done, Wiethoofd.
Alright.
We got Professor Kazarok though on the Huntsman. This is actually one of his favourite strategies. You know, there is a reason he is called the Professor.
I mean, on Steel it works. You have narrow quarters literally everywhere.
He's
And
already
look at
got
this,
Crayon's
we got it!
burning arrow.
Crayon's down for the count with the first kill of the game going to Gazarok on that Huntsman, as majority of the blue players are stacking A right now with Rambazar with a level 3 sentry. Nobody will be able to do anything right now as Evil has been caught off guard, just kind of sneaking behind, but that rocket has found the mark. Now the doors are slowly being opened. There's DWO there with the black box already, putting some nice rockets into there, and there's still that sticky trap, you know, just stuck out of resistance. Look how many stickies are there!
Yeah, he's got like half the clip there. Look at the entire room just stickies, and they have to walk through. And even if they kill these, they have to do all the other sticks as well. That's the thing. And he gets the demo as well. Joe. That's just the Scottish Resistance, man. It's such a good weapon just for that, like the troll factor.
Just
like,
so dirty.
You kill like 9 sticky bombs, and then suddenly there's 5 more around the corner.
Rambazar is in a lot of trouble right now fighting DWO. There's a sentry building up. DWO kind of messed this one up. He didn't finish off Rambo. And now that level 3 sentry is on the D point. And it seems that Feila will be going for that AE strategy as fast as possible. This is the standard AE with the Rambazar kind of going far forward.
Oh yeah, but without the demo though, they can't really lock down the spawn or connector. They've opted just to take this drop down since Nip not supposed to take the sentry gun off to the BC connector, which means they can probably just come into B for free. And we got Kazarok here, he's staring 2 down with the Huntsman, and surely he's dying here to Sanzigi and Joe. And the rotations here are not fast enough from Envision, and they lose Wiethoofd to the Huntsman of the Professor himself, and Vigot's going to W forward here and force the Uber. This is looking really bad here for Gimme opponent.
I mean, there was a nice strategy going on E. They kind of lost this one. Rambo went down and they said, you know what, let's just rotate E really quick. You know, use this distraction. Now they capped B in a very short time. 2 minutes is not too shabby at all. And now it's all in the hands of Gimme opponent to holding this fort down.
Oh yeah, but you know, they've got pretty much, well, they've actually lost their medic actually. They've lost Nightmare to, I don't know what that was in the end, but either way, Nightmare down. So that's going to be a full Uber advantage here, and there's no heals up in over 5 seconds for Gimme opponent, so Feila looking in a really strong position right now. Currently just a skeleton crew on C. They will opt to use the Uber charge to come and take the ground here, because we'll just jet back into the spawn and try and take some space here. There's very little cap time right now though, so I think Envision, Gimme opponent will actually want to try and repush this.
Yeah, I mean, they have nothing to lose. None of the medic really has the Uber charge. And there goes Layla with Wiethoofd fighting the sticky onto her. And it's just a complete whitewash coming out of the Gimme opponent team. They're just cleaning up the C point. Now, Kazarok is the last one alive there on the point, just kind of stuck in the corner. Gonna get finished off by DWO. with a 4K on his black box. Well done by Gimme opponent, stabilizing the situation after a 1-2 cap coming out of Feila. And now level 3 sentry is on the E point by Nipnop, protecting that point from any pesky scouts or pyros or whatever have you. And now it's all in the hands of Feila to actually do something about this. Coco Bear going behind, almost getting Nightmare, but he's been found out by the Pyro. Now Tuja is in a lot of trouble, low on health, needs to heal up with that sandwich. And Detoad and Raz both going down that corridor here. Nightmare just hit his Uber charge, but he only has DWO and Tuja to help.
Yeah, we currently got Kazarot just playing the combo sniper on Steel, and I guess when the entire map is a corridor, you know, like Huntsman's kind of a good weapon. We saw him win the SVS against England just now with it. And yeah, looking to optify. Actually, we're seeing returns of favour with the hit scan. It's a little bit stronger at range than the Huntsman, but that's okay. And is that... Oh, that's essentially gone in the pit. I thought I was a player for a second. That's okay, though, because we currently have Feila just trying to ease their way through here, looking to take gamers into toilet, actually. This heavy completely off guard here. Yeah, Tyrio just dies in the middle there. And they're looking just to get some cat time on E, just to bait people around, and you know, they know how Steel works. They know that when teams are holding C, they usually try and rotate them over through toilet. But I think it's been a double bluff here from Gimme opponent, actually, and they've chosen to rotate everyone through BC connector. So Leila's forced to use a Uber. It's going to be completely denied here by Rez. It's just heavy, it's sort of heavy, and Leila's in the pit.
Oh, and that was an Ubered medic as well. That's worth 3 pit points in the chat. Now Midler's in a lot of trouble. He can't survive this. No, he does survive this against Nightmare. How is that even possible? That heavy is completely ignored, and that little staircase there gets to the enemy medic. That is huge for the heavy.
He wasn't even ignored though. It was like Rez was shotgunning him down and M1ing him, but he didn't body block bullets going into his medic, so Middle just chose to focus the medic behind him rather than go... I don't know why Nightmare even peeked that, to be honest, because, you know, you had your Pyro on the heavy, you had the last flick of Uber. Bit of a misplay coming out there, and they might cost them here, because now they've turned a pretty dominant situation for them, you know, like heals against basically no players into, you know, a bit of a frenzy just to try and get onto the Z point here. You know, they've lost V-clocks here on the offense, but it's times 4 on here. The point's already almost half capped. You know, Gimme Power needs to have some kind of response to this.
Vito, though, getting headshot there is crucial. He was on the lock and load, or the loose cannon, actually. The bounce people are off the point, and he just got shot by that arrow. And just Kazarok is just such a menace. Look at how close E point is. Now Samsky's on the point right now, being healed by the medic. Layla is not pressured at all. It's so close. Where are the red players, man? They're just spawning in, and they're getting destroyed by the blue.
Oh, there's just nothing there. Oh, the snipe comes in at the end, and there's no one to get on the point. And Leia is actually stuck on the clip by the pit and takes her. She's in the pit now. Joy gets her in the pit. Only a tiny bit of cat time needed, though. And right now we've got 2 people standing on the point here, but Joy comes in and saves it just at the end. But the C point is getting capped. There's not enough people alive to defend both points, especially this cap time, which means that the bridges are about to come out. I can't see Gimme opponent holding this for more than another 5 seconds, honestly.
Yeah, they really need those respawns, but they don't get them in time, and somehow Feila sneaks in the cap at 6 minutes and 5 seconds here, Solar. That's a really good time for Steel, especially with the kind of scrappy fights that were going on. But it's worked out for them. I mean, they've been aggressive. They were rotating very often. It seems that Joe and Layla, you know, just coming in at last possible moment, kind of delaying the game by 30 minutes, I'm going to blame it on them, have kind of helped out in this. And even though we kind of wrote this game for Gimme opponent without Layla and Joe, it seems that they're just such a huge anchor for Feila that, you know, they cannot be ignored no matter what map it is.
Well, I mean, you can't write Gimme opponent on just yet. I mean, in TF2 they were getting, like, you know, 5.5 minute times. You know, this isn't 6 minutes is pretty much on the, you know, the low end of average these days, honestly, for Steel. The way the map's gotten so much more streamlined and fast paced. But at the end there, we just missed Tuya. He was getting M1 by V-clocks while he was eating a sandwich for the entire animation of eating it. He gets like saved by his engineer or something in spawn, and then comes out and just punches V-clocks to death. I think that's a pretty good play by Tuya there, big clutch. Oh, they've already lost Nubi actually. And then he's actually going to try and punch middle here, but sadly it wasn't quite enough. And Joe's actually opting to play with his heavy on top here. It's very interesting. I think he ought to do that because his soldier died, so it's just a bit of extra spec keeping his heavy alive there. And without that extra pipe onto Tuya and Detoad there, they might have even got the middle there, basically for free.
Red Sticky's in the connector between the A and E point. Coco Bear is now looking into this connector. Waiting for a signal is Joe. Just kind of waiting it out. Newbie's kind of scouting the ahead, you know, putting some pressure on the team, but looks like the majority of Gimme opponent team is kind of waiting in spawn still, peeking out through B, seeing this wall of red basically in front of them. Dito is just kind of trying to put some sticks in, but they're being reflected by Viklas fairly swiftly. Tuja now comes
Professor
in, but
Kazarok!
Kazarok, what is he doing, man? How is he getting these shots? And you're constantly on fire as well.
Yeah, it's just you're shooting huntsmen down a narrow corridor, and eventually, like, you get a pick down here, you know. I rate it. I rate the huntsman on this map. It's pretty good.
Hanzo.
Oh, he gets res as well. Yes, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, you know, just simple geometry, as one would say.
Oh dear.
I had to do it, man, but Evil saps the sentry, actually a huge play. He goes down eventually, but the sentry is no more, which will be the point for the blue team to actually go in. DWO getting kind of some damage from behind, but getting cleaned up by Samsky here. Now Nipnop is building up that level 3 sentry. Nope, that's just a mini sentry up there.
Oh, Kazarok, the carry has been slain, so now we can maybe see some movement coming out here from the Gimme opponent here. They use the Uber through the choke point here, countered. Fairly equal on both sides here. They're getting the best of it though now, because Viklas is a pyro class, so he's reflected demo out, and it's just pretty much, you know, only 3 left alive for Vision. It's pretty much a wipe now. So, yep. But Layla did go down during that, you know.
Evil gets Joe UGC, and then Joe going down. It's a huge point for the blue team to actually push in. No more demo man means a lot of places to go through. Kazarok claims DW of his huntsman yet again. He's kind of falling back. There's not enough people from the red side to actually go there. Coco Bear is now pressuring Layla. Oh no, Layla. Nightmare actually comes out on top with this with the help of Tuja. So no trouble, no harm to the blue medic here. Points swiftly will be capped shortly as well, and then 3.5 minutes to go for the E-cap. I think it's still doable, but Gimme opponent really has to hurry up.
Well, they got this 30% add to work with, so maybe they can get something done here. I mean, it's going to show you one too. Like, a lot of time, the exchanges sort of seem to go really badly for you, but because of the respawn difference between the teams, you know, Red have got like 10-second respawn difference with just the A point capped, so you can just basically just go for trades and then walk forwards. So that's really worked to Envision's advantage. They're pushing the B point. Sorry, Gimme opponent's advantage. I keep calling them Envision because it's basically the same team.
Just slightly different name. Here it comes Nightmare, 100% Ubercharge, Layla on 85. It's time for them to actually push in, but they're being kind of kept at bay at the C connector here, BC connector. Dito goes in so aggressively, looking for that Ubercharge goes out.
Yeah, he's got Layla with a stick now, and the Ubercharge is chasing people under. He's got a middle, and Joe's in a whole host of trouble now, but he's actually sticked off Nightmare here. He's forced to go for swords and will die for his troubles there. But you know, they got the medic frag here. There's only 4 left alive here for Feila, so now I think, you know, Dito's gang are going to try and get some cap time here just during the downtime. You know, there's no one that can really contest the point. They're going to get this cap time. That's the right play, really. Bro's here just sitting in toilet, and now they got on the cap time. They're going to get off the point. They've killed Layla now. They successfully baited them on. They've got Layla. They got on Rambasaur as well. So there's no heals and no engineer for the defense. This is exactly what you want to do on CP Steel. You know, like, because everyone's dead, you can just create that advantage for yourself and then bait everyone out of spawn.
That's absolutely huge.
Yeah,
they're holding out.
Yeah,
they're holding out D like just so swiftly. There's no Layla, no heals for another 20 seconds, or after she dies 4 times on the point. Nobody to stop them. Will Gimme opponent be able to claim this one? They will. They come out victorious.
Yeah, that's what I said. Don't write them off. You know, it's Steel. It's a really fast map, and if you can just, both teams currently seem really bad at keeping their medics alive. But the thing is that the way that Envision are playing around their medics dying, like, when Feila lose their med, like, the only time that they really woke up and, like, actually went for the last push was when Layla sort of got stuck in the pit. So they sort of decided, oh, we're just going to go for the cap anyway. But Envision's Gimme opponent story seems to be taking better initiative when their medic dies. They think, right, our medic's dead. It's sort of like Koth, where you can just go really aggressive because you've got nothing to lose. Except, you know, here you have to get a few frags as well. If you can get those spam classes like Engineer down and those heals down, there's not a lot that Red can do during that downtime when you have basically instant respawns and they have anywhere from 18 to 22 second respawns. So you've just got this buffer period where you can just get some cap time at no detriment to yourself. And they played it perfectly. They, as soon as the spawners came in from Feila, they just got off the point, and then they just had Stingen just kill Layla, and Dita came in and kill Rambasaur at the end. So, you know, once they've gotten this half cap time and there's no heals and no sentry, that's just the final nail in the coffin for your defense on Steel, I'm afraid.
Now we're just kind of asking around what's going on, because we've ready up for the second round of Steel. As far as we knew, it was best of one, but both teams are kind of getting ready for another round of this. Yeah, after the first time, Gimme opponent won the first round here.
In UGC, teams can agree to play best of 3. It's just like it defaults to best of 1. So if both teams don't want to play best of 3, or one of them doesn't want to play best of 3, it just defaults to best of 1. But it seems that both teams have agreed to play best of 3, which means that we're going to see, if it does go to the third map, best of 3 on upward as well, potentially.
Oof. It's going to be a long time, but we've already started the second round here. 8 point being stacked as usual. No really surprise there. Looking for sticky traps. There's no sticky traps in the connector as of now, with Joe at UGC kind of being the demo man on the defense right now. There's Newbie there putting some nice damage, but he's not going to be cleaning up anyone anytime soon, as the entire blue team, as a wall of death comes in.
Oh, but Professor Kazarok.
Wiethoofd.
Yeah, and now they literally, they can't go ever to get teleported up, literally right now. And they've lost a soldier as well. This is a fatal push. They have to go drop down. They've already got people in the BC connector for the defense. Joey's got White Room locked down. Oh, they can't go drop down now. They have to just commit to this push.
They're so spread out. They just don't have the players in the right places right now. Nightmare's on 100%, and he's kind of, just separated from the rest of his team. Tuja's on the E, Nipnop is on the E. Now being chased off by Newbie and Coco Bear. Tuja's gonna claim the soldier and gonna claim the scout as well, but he's low on health, gonna get sniped by Kazarok, who's now switched to a regular sniper rifle. Just kind of a mess coming out of Feila and Gimme opponent.
Yeah, meanwhile though, like the rotations come out from Gimme, but I'm not sure how the Common managed to get out there, the Uber, with Joe watching White Room. But, yeah, they managed to get through here and force the Uber onto Feila here, and there's only 4 left alive, so they just got on their spawners. So there should be a B cap just for free here, because there's Feila don't really have anything to come back in with, but they are dropping players here, Gimme opponent, aren't they? They lost their Pyro and their Scout.
Yes, Layla's was on fire for a brief moment, but she's back in action right now, trying to just stop this B point from getting capped. Nice damage coming out of the middle, but he falls down. 2 kills for Wiethoofd here, and now Nightmare goes down as well, thanks to Coco Bear. That is just being turned around, just on its heel right now. B point so close to being capped, but a quick, swift repush coming out of the red team here grants Feila an amazing spot here. Kazarok claims 2 kills as well. DW and Nipno both going down to 2 headshots for 2 bullets. Well done for the sniper, and now Layla's in a lot of trouble. Crown's gonna get 2 beat shots onto her, and now with no Feila on the board, Gimme opponent will be able to just finish off this B point and move on to E or C should they desire to do that.
Yeah, I think, Jay, now you found out why Wiethoofd likes to stick off the BC connector with Scottish resistance, because it means that the scout can't do exactly that. And look at this, Joe's tried to get the health back in toilet, and he just gotten picked up there by Joe there. So now there's no demo, no sniper, no soldier either, there's no spam for the point, you're not even a pyro. And there's no sentry in the general vicinity either, and the bridges are about to come up, which was granting 3 rotations here for Gimme opponent over to the other side. So this is looking really bad here for Layla and co with that 80% disadvantage.
That just kind of looks pretty bad, pretty grim, but Layla now rotates into the lobby area with V-Clogs, now slowly being rejoined by the rest of the team. They really kind of have to hold down the E if they can. There's a lot of blue players there. Heavy goes down to Coco Bear here. No Tuja on the last point. Nightmare is on 100%. He'll be able to use it whenever he wants to. Only Rez is down. Now Evil and Sting and both also joining the respawn queue for the blue team. They're kind of scattering the forces. They should be using this Uber charge to their advantage, but they're kind of deciding to not do that and allow Layla to kind of build her Uber in the lobby. They should be doing this.
Well, if you can cross in time, like, this is the right play, because you won't have by the time they got on it, and it's fine to get the frags situation, because if you saw, like, the respawn queue there, it was 24 seconds. Like, the thing is, even if you do get the Uber, and you manage to get a fairly decent, like, even or above even trade, if you drop players during it, it doesn't matter. And this is the one, like, the downside once you've got the C point cap. The respawn ways are, like, delayed by another 6 or 7 seconds for the defenders. It's even longer if you cap. I think it caps out about 28 seconds respawn, which is absolutely brutal. But 24 is bad enough here, so right now... oh, they've actually lost their medic here. There goes that plan.
Yeah.
No Nightmare, no heals, can't tag people on the point. So it looks like Feila are going to try and retake White Room here.
Just want to say no Nightmare, no dreams, but... That's kind of how it works. So Kazarok is absolutely on fire. I mean, this man is currently top scoring for his team.
Not just on Layla though, like, she's so low. And there's this Crayon in the back line, like, she just gradually got chipped down. She had like half health from Rez coming through, got chipped down by Nipnop's pistol, and then it's just Crayon in behind, and suddenly Like, they took so long to rotate into White Room, Feila did, that, you know, it might as well just stay BC connector, because it offers a much stronger position if you have an Uber advantage. White Room's really the place where you bail out to play, where you can't really do anything else. In my opinion anyway, a lot of teams like to play differently, but like, you know, if you have Uber advantage, you want to default to playing in BC. But Feila just opted not to take that. They got the Heavy in Heaven, they got ×5 on the cap. I can't see them losing this.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to actually push into E point right now. There's so many blue players on the point right now, but Dito goes down here. Newbie keeps trying to stop this. Samsky goes down to the pit. Now Wiethoofd goes down on the point. Rez is trying to jump on the point, and so is Crayon. Newbie comes in with the hero play and manages to cast Orc with the pan out, but he doesn't get anybody, and finally Gimme opponent claims the point in 5 minutes and 24 seconds. Still faster time that Feila eSports has claimed for themselves, or have claimed for themselves the first time around. So they're still faster than the opponents, and now it's all in the cap of Feila to actually beat that time, and should they not do that, we'll go to the second map of the evening.
Yeah, I mean, like, Feila, just for a moment there, they look like they'd sort of woken up. You know, they gotten wise to the strategies of Gimme opponent there, but it just seems now their downfall is down to their own rotations. Like, they just seemed in two minds there. That's very uncharacteristic of Feila. Usually, once a Joe call goes down, like that's echoed through the Mumble channel forever. You know, everyone knows what to do. Everyone's going in a position there, but they just seem split in two minds completely as to what to do there. So in the end, there was Layla just caught in between just 3 players there and just slowly chipped down to no health at all, and that really was the catalyst towards them losing that point in the end. Now that's the thing, like, it's not even in the same fight that it has to happen. Like, you could lose your medic and then lose your footing and lose your position. You could even end up winning the fight, but it's affected you that much that you can't win the next fight, just because of your respawns. Then that's, you know, that's the power of capping the C point on this map. It gives the attacking team basically like 2-second respawns and the defenders 24-second respawns.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, the defenders have a really short way to the last point, whereas the attackers kind of have to go all the way from the beginning. So that kind of is the change between the respawn timer. Is really the point shifts towards the defender space, and as it shifts towards the defender space, the respawn timers really go longer. And now that, well, the first point has been capped by the blue team here in Feila. Newbie kind of putting some rockets through the window onto last point. Dito's kind of trying to lock down this spot with his Scottish resistance, I believe. And now the majority of the Feila team is just moving through the White Room, also known as the lobby. Layla with the Uber charge goes to the connector.
Oh, Joe!
Oh,
Joe and
2 kills! That's a double!
I thought he was safe for a second. He sort of got, you know, he was safe on the point for a moment, but he sort of had that thing where Airblast continued to, like, push him even when he touched the ground, you know? Jungle Inferno Pyro, really good stuff. Keep doing it, Val. Keep doing what you're doing. Just fall into the pit, and that'll be a 2k there for Rez, and that will just completely end the Feila push onto E.
That was such a good push there. I mean, they had everyone in the right position. It's just one push away was all that it took. Now Joe and UFC getting Ubered in, takes down the sentry, now comes in with a nice jump, but he gets destroyed there. Now Wiethoofd, the Uber runs out, counter Uber comes out a Nightmare, just trying to chase off that Pyro, and they do get him. Now Rez is just burning everybody in sight, takes down Kazaron, takes down Samsky as well with the help of D-Toad. And it just completely wrecks this push coming out of Feila. Now they're losing time. It's 2 minutes past already, and they've only capped the A point. They're not really moving forward at all, and they need to do that if they want to stay in this. Now Joe and UFC goes in that top area with the medic. They really have to rush if they want to stay in the game. But the red team here, Gimme opponent, just not willing to let this one go. They stack almost all their defenses onto the B point, with the exception of DWO, who's going from behind.
Yeah, look at their position. Oh yeah, DW is just in. Yeah,
just got him.
That pushes pretty much. It's salvageable, but they got to get the heavy out. Wouldn't want to make anything happen once they got past his defense. Like 2 is going to mince everything coming through here. They haven't got heals. There is a distraction play. There is a scout capping E. But, Soldier Soy on the pain train. That is Nubby on that pain train unlock, and he's got a bit of cap time, but will get cleaned up in the end by Evil. But that's just baited enough players away, just to make sure that, you know, Feila can potentially even just get this B point. There's no one, and I think Envision are opting just to give them the B point because it's just safer that way. They're taking, actually I think they've realised they've got this huge advantage. They're going to give them the B point, just hold connector. Pretty smart play here.
I mean, they have nothing really to lose. All it takes is the E point, and they kind of sacrifice all the others if they want to. Ooh, Vixel's getting so dangerously close to Nightmare. Nightmare is low on health, has to pop the Uber charge, saves himself and his team. 2-Chat finishes off Joe, and then Newbie goes down to DWO. That offense is yet again dismantled. Another victim is middle, claimed by D-Toad. And right now, Layla's on 62%. She has to heal up anybody to get that Uber charge up if she wants to keep in this. 2 minutes to go. We know that it takes exactly 45 seconds on ×3 on the E point if you want to really cap it. So it takes a long, long time, and, well, they don't have much of it.
Oh yeah, they've just sort of opted to give it up now. They've got this really big disad. Nightmare hasn't even been healing. It's like, 60 disad turns to 100% disad now. So it's looking really bad, really, for a Gimme opponent now. They're going to be forced to just come contest from Connector. But the thing is that Layla has Uber here. Oh, not anymore. Gets forced by Dwo. Not sure how much of an impact it'll have in the end there, because the respawn's coming in for they're so late for the Gimme opponent here, and there's 3/4 of the way capped, and yeah, they lost the heals there. This round is pretty much over, I think.
I mean, they're trying. E-point is getting pushed in. They might still get this. As minimum, they have to go. They have the players. Nightmare is down. D-Toad is down, and Crayon is down. They do. How is that possible, man? 2 minutes to go. It was such a quick time by Gimme opponent, and Feila warm-ups them, and now it's 1-1 on Steel, and we're all the way to the 3rd point off this map, and we still have possibly 2 to go.
Yeah, Envision, they really do break my hearts with the way that they go about defending C. Because they've got such a lightning fast attack, and it's kind of consistent, really. Like it's surprisingly consistent how well they are able to bait the rotations out of the enemy team. But when they're defending, they seem to just get caught into a lot of the same traps. They got baited out of into using their Uber interconnector there, which they really didn't have to do. I mean, like you say that, with the way that normal TF2 maps work, is the defenders spawn waves. They have a longer spawn, but the point is closer. Whereas, but on Steel though, the point doesn't really move. It's just the things that move are the attackers' access to territory and the routes that you can take. But the until they've capped D, your routes to E are pretty much the same. So they didn't really have to stay in like that close interconnector that long, really. They didn't have the heavy wood, and they just took a solo demo Uber. Like, they did get forced, granted, but really the heavy should have moved from the start. They were just really lucky they didn't just get forced earlier from someone coming through cliff. They really do want to have a lot more people with them and want to try and hold the connector area. This happened with them last week actually against Weekake as well. They had really good attacking times and really good holds on B, but they just flaked on the connector hold, and it's coming back to haunt them, I think, now.
They kind of let go of the B point, you kind of set up for the C defense or maybe E defense, and they were doing a pretty good job, but then they got dismantled one by one, and those respawn times are just so crucial. If you allow yourself to lose too many players at the same time, you have nobody really to hold down the fort, and the enemy team can just walk onto E point without any issues whatsoever and just claim it for themselves. And now, with the third round underway, A point is gonna get capped shortly, I hope. Your Professor Kazark now with the team is just sitting on the point, nice and cozy, waiting for that gate to open up. And we'll see if they decide to go E point yet again, put the pressure down on the Gimme opponent, or maybe just, fake out E, go B as is usually the case. We'll see shortly in the future here. Solar Evil is behind now, just feeding out information to the red team. Just A point has been capped, the gate is being slowly opened. Dwo or DWO is holding down the fort by himself, and he just doesn't really have anybody to help him, so he just bails out of that situation really quick, putting himself in a much more defensive position in the lobby, just still feeding out information. B point still has majority of the red players, and now they're rotating.
Yeah, because Evil didn't die on A there, so he was able to call the entire combo was rotating through, and Rose will be looking for another one of those brilliant air blasts now into the pit here. It only takes one mistimed peek, one right click, you get pooped into the pit, but they use Uber early here while the pyro isn't looking, and they've got some ground here. I'm not really sure how successful it'll be in the end. We'll see how the post-Uber the fight goes, though. And they have actually got the pyro. They completely locked out connector here. Joe and Layla have just got them to top of connector.
Yeah, I mean, they have heals, but they don't have much else now. Ooh, Metal gets just double blasted by Force of Nature coming out of Crayon. That's an unusual unlock. And then Nightmare claims Coco Bear with that Uber Saw, grabs himself a nice little boost into Uber Charge. He's now over 50% above Layla. Now sting a nice headshot on to Joe and UFC, or Joe UGC as he's known currently, and then Layla just kind of suicides because she has nobody really to help her there, nobody to lean on, so he just presses presses the kill button because you don't want to waste time if you're on defense and you're on medic and you have nobody to help you survive. You know, if the enemy team is smart, they will allow you to live as far as or as long as they can before they kill you to delay that respawn. So that's a smart play.
Oh yeah, like they sort of played it a bit strange there. Like they only had Joe and Layla at top of connector, which was great, but then they sort of got flanked because Steel is, of course, the massive flank. And Layla was actually so weak during this trade. It's not trade, sorry. It's a bit of force onto Nightmare. They've got nothing with it though. Forced her back out here, and Detoad is all stuck here. Those gates are not open, but the scout behind anyway.
Evil.
And Evil there. He does get Layla with constellation bits. Might be enough for Gimme opponent to stabilize here. But there is a cap going now on E, and B's almost capped. And they haven't got a Detoad, so they'll be able to retake this B point. Really, they should be going for a passive C-hold right now. They shouldn't really be lingering connected. They've got this sniper with them. Sorry, they haven't got the sniper with them.
Newbie goes from behind. He's been unseen so far. He goes in. He will be able to get one rocket on the Nightmare, but he's been spotted by the Pyro, and Rez just completely destroys. Actually, Sting and climbs the kill with a nice flick shot there. And now Nightmare's a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's enough for Feila to walk in there. Oh, but the cleanup coming in. I think Detoad has some traps under there. And Joy and Detoad there just combining to take down just like 5 or 6 players just by themselves almost. And that just completely kills essentially what could have been a very disastrous situation for Nightmare there. Like that distraction from Nubby was enough to just let them walk through connector, but this time that they're holding it correctly. They had their soldier watching the cliff area, and that means the demo is a lot safer. So which means they can just combine to spam things. But Layla's actually died again to Joy. This is what I mean, a soldier on cliff here is so powerful. Because you have this high ground here, you can rotate interconnecting out of it. But Nightmare actually, I'm going to say it's a little bit of a pussy pop, but it is Pyro in the current year, so the damage is sort of intriguing at the best of times.
it's a good euphemism.
It's sort of kind of random, sometimes you just take 200 in one burst, sometimes it's 20. It's just Pyro. It's fine. I don't blame him too much for using that.
Nightmare is a lot of trouble. He's nobody to help him. Thankfully, he's out of the situation, being, Rez kind of sacrificed himself to survive the situation. Now Tuja has spawned out and joined the team.
They don't know where they're going. The rotations. They don't know where they want to go. They wanted to go connector for a while. They've opted to go white room here, I think. Yeah, they're going white room, but now they've been called by Coco Bear, if nothing else. And it's going to be fairly easy for Feila to defend, really. They've got the Demo Man in heaven. They've got the Wrangle Mini here and the Pirate, and actually we got Nubby just hiding here above the door, and they've killed Nightmare. And yeah, this is absolutely fatal.
Yeah, this might be it, actually. E-point 4 people, only 5 people alive for the red team, no medic either. And there he goes, 4 minutes and 34. We're getting shorter and shorter in terms of map time here.
Yeah, it's just if you're so indecisive about your rotate, like you could see just like the way that people were just like looking around left and right, because first we had Nightmare go really passive after getting forced there, and he didn't, after he got forced out connector, and then Rez was there to just sort of give his life to save him. But then he went so passive onto C that it was like, oh, are we going D? Are we going white room? Are we going connector? I'm not sure. Because his team wanted to go to connector, you could see that, but Nightmare was just so passive that his team just sort of crossed over. But then as they were doing that, Nightmare just went back to it. It's sort of like when you're trying to pass on the street and you're both walking in the same, like, into each other, and then you're just trying to go either side of each other, but then you end up going into the same side. It's just, it happens like that on C a lot. It's, it's just sad when it happens though, just because if they'd gone connected there, it was probably salvageable.
It probably would be, but that was a crucial misplay on the side of Gimme opponent. They could have easily held it because they still had Nightmare alive, but that indecisiveness was kind of playing a huge part in this, and as a result, Feila just kind of got the point now. It's all in the hands of Nightmare and his team to actually do this. Now Nipnop goes onto Samsky. Samsky goes down. And
Middle's just on the roof on A. That's interesting. We actually saw Gimme Poland's ETH12 version of Envision. They actually sort of did a similar thing last week on Seal. They sort of had their heavy just sit on the rocks on A and like basically feed, and ended up with them actually losing the round to it. Just in the long run. So maybe Feila are just trying to take a page out of there, but maybe Feila wanted to go to free maps, you never know.
Maybe he doesn't play altogether, but...
Getting their saloon payouts.
8 point goes to the way of Gimme opponent now. They're stabilizing this situation. Now Coco goes behind, he whiffs the stab on the DWO, gets finished off by Mini Sentry, and they're still pressing on. Well, without the medic, but it's only DWO and Nipnop in the lobby area, getting cleaned up by Newbie. Both rockets hit their targets right now, and B-point is just currently uncontested by Feila, but they don't really have to. They have 3.5 minutes to kind of waste for the enemy team, and well, if they really wanted, they can just put all their defenses onto E if they want. I mean, this 3.5 minutes is a lot of time, but I decided to hold in connector right now. The Ubercharge is still charged up and ready to go. Joe and UFC going really hard in forward.
Dito to dead, and so is Crayon. Yeah, that's how you hold connector, pretty much. Like they because that gate takes about 15 seconds to fully open, you know that there's not going to be anyone coming out there for a while, and if they do, they're just wasting more time, so they kind of had to push into you, and they just held the connector with their sniper up there. That's exactly how you want to do it. They even had the soldier there with them as well, I think. They had the heavy watching the cliff, just because the gate wasn't open, so, it's perfect spam for a heavy. But as I see that, speaking of cliff, Gimme have actually taken the cliff area here now, but not sure if they've noticed middle here. If they drop down here, they could be in for a whole host of Russian trouble here. As Kazarot does take down Tuya though, so it's heavy down, but and Rez has come in. He's actually won the 1v1 against the middle here, quite surprising.
Shotgun. And there it goes. Look at this. This is what I was kind of thinking about. I mean, C-point is being contested. So what you do as Feila eSports is you rotate from behind, which is they're trying to do now, but there's so many blue players behind. With that teleport up and running and Tuja kind of holding down the fort, they kind of opted out to just abandon C-point, go straight to D around. And I think that's the right play here. 2 minutes to go. Not a lot of time for Gimme opponent to actually salvage the situation from a complete loss of the first map. But they're holding down the lobby area, which is smart. And they're putting up some players onto D point as well. They're holding down the spawn. There's blue players right now pushing in through this long corridor.
Sticking out Depth Corridor is just really strong, but just because, I don't think anyone's called a 6. No one's called it there. The 3 dives!
Oh my god!
How does no one look at that?
Triple kill there! Even Nightmare had to just pop the Uber to get out of the situation. Tuja claims 1 kill on the spy, and the Scout is pesking them down. But Joe and UFC with a huge play here.
We've been we've spoken about these fatal mistakes that just destroy your entire steal round. That's a map winning move, right? The map losing move right there, I should say. That's just, you have like 4 people walk, like the soldier walks through and looks to his right, then everyone else comes through and they assume the soldiers check for sticks. And it's like, oh, this is fine, we'll just walk through, and they just lose their entire combo to sticks, and the soldier just dies afterwards. But actually, like, they have gotten some people on E. Somehow they got the rotations out, but this is a big advantage here for Layla. They're going to move into the E point here. They got on the conch as well. There's still a little bit of cat time going, and actually the post-fight is fairly even, which of course, for the attacker's perspective, is actually very much in their favour. There's only 4 left alive here, and Layla has died for the defenders here. It's going to be a very close round if they manage to get people on the point here. They have Tuya in heaven here, but he's all alone and will get killed by Kazarok in the end. It's only 37 seconds here, Gimme need to get on the point just right this second here if they got any chance of getting in this round at all. There's only 30 seconds left, and not sure if it's possible now.
Is on the Vaccinate right now, just doing that blast damage resistance, which is crucial right now, just completely denying Joe's efforts here on the point. Now they're switching to Bullet, which is protecting in middle, but if you combine 2 elements, you're gonna get a lot of kill, as they do right now. There's a lot of Feila players on the point right now, 10 seconds to go, and there is not enough time in the world to get this done. First map goes to the way of Feila eSports. Well done to them, pulling it out of the lion's mouth.
Yeah, honestly, that was, credit to Joe for actually sticking it up, but Envision should have known, really. You should have known that they're going to go Death Corridor, especially when you had 3 people in connector. They had the heavy, their engine, and a soldier in connector, Gimme opponent did, and there was nothing in there. So they knew there was just easy rotate over. But it's like they already felt they had to commit to going through Death Corridor, even though that's what the defenders want you to do. Because you've got this entire massive choke to walk through. Even if you do get through the entire thing, they can just hop onto a platform and get into White Room as defenders, and they can just, just basically just run away from your Uber just for free. So going BC there was always the better play, because once you get these bridges down, that's, basically free crossing access for your team as attackers. So you can just get over to heaven. But they just opted not to do it in the end, and it cost them, not just because they went Death Corridor. Also, because of the sticks, no one checked it. I don't understand why.
Well,
maybe it's just heat at the moment,
First map here is done and dusted. We're gonna take a look at logs right now, which are, do believe, combined. As far as I know, is it a combined info with Wiethoofd? I don't think it is combined. Just look at the last round, I think. But look at the last round, no real surprise here. I mean, kind of a surprise. Joe and UFC with 16 kills, a lot of them in the last few seconds of the game, really. The middle with 14, Kazark with 13. Those heavy hitting, heavy killing classes are, topping the charts here. Then it's Rez, Stingin, and Wiethoofd from Gimme opponent, with 13, 13, and 9 kills each. Wiethoofd only on 9 kills on the demo, man. It's not a good score if you're on a class that's supposed to do, the only design of the class is just to do damage. Just do a lot of damage. Do even more damage than anybody else can do. And Wiethoofd kind of, shadowing himself there, kind of probably been suppressed by the enemy team too much. I don't know, but first round he's been shining. Second round he's been doing okay, but third round he's been just completely destroyed here by Joe.
Yeah, I think it's just been, as you said, it's getting picked a lot. You can see by the heal stats as well. Like, Nightmare put 21% heals into his Pyro, which usually indicates that your demo is dying a lot. Like, if you're going 9-9 on Steel, like, he has the same amount of deaths as the other players, but his deaths are really inopportune times. And you can really, tell as well how in control of the game Feila were, territory-wise. Despite the kills being even on both teams, Layla's average time before using Ubercharge, was 82 seconds compared to Nightmare's 44. So Layla, basically had just, almost 3/4 of a minute just free time just to sit around and wait for them to get pushed into. And that's when they were sitting really comfortably in Connector, I think, mostly.
Yeah, it's actually interesting here. I mean, looking at those charts, Nightmare died 5 times and Layla died 6 times. So 1 death more. But, it's a clever observation because Layla only popped 4 times, whereas Nightmare popped 7.
Yeah. So it's just, there wasn't nearly enough pressure just on the medic and the combo in general. Like, Envision were really good at the start. Like I said earlier, both teams were really trying to keep the medics alive. And that was from the sheer aggression from both teams whenever, their medic went down or they had an opportunity to get the other medic aggressive. But we do have combined logs coming out here now.
Ooh,
right
Joe.
Away. Yeah, Joe, 40 frags,
Joe.
470 in DPM. Steel's pretty good for demo, man. Not sure if you've realised. So, it's pretty good. It's I take 40 frags as demo on this map any day of the week. Immediately following him is Professor Kazarok here with 32 kills and 30 headshots. Stingin, actually, he had.
Are you singling out Stingin, who is on 34?
Yeah, Stingin's actually he's got more kills, less headshots, but he stayed alive, a little bit longer. He's got 5 less deaths. Stingin, he did a lot less job.
He's been counter-sniping Kazarok better than Kazarok has been counter-sniping Stingin. He's got 8 kills over Kazarok on the sniper kills, and then 8 kills on the Pyro. Only 1 kill on the medic. Kazarok's slightly better on the medic duty, with 3 kills to his name. So basically the sniper battle, even though, 2 kills more for Stingin here, Kazarok kind of, I think, did win this one. He got the more, high priority kills rather than Stingin.
So. You can really see the difference between the playstyles of the two teams here, whereas you have Feila who just sort of, they have the rotations most of the time, and they've got their good defense, but on their attack, they seem to be relying mostly on their DM during these fights. So you see Kazarok, he's got these huge damage numbers, purely because he's probably just coming in and just quick-scoping people, Or he's arrowing people. He's got 17 rifle kills and 13 huntsman kills, He's got almost as much huntsman damage as he has rifle damage. Steel's a pretty good map for the huntsman, in case you hadn't noticed, but it's just different playstyles, right? Envision are playing, they're playing a bit more slow, a bit more, I want to say strategically, but not really. It's a bit more precise and timed in a lot of ways when we have just Stingin going for these picks as opposed to loads of damage, which it was working out for them for a lot of the game, but in the end it's just a lot of their decision making, towards the later stages of the game just, basically just lost them the map. But we are moving on to product here, and I'm not sure whose map pick this is. I'm going to assume that Feila picked the first map since they are home team, so yeah, I think in UGC second map is usually the away team's pick.
We'll see how it goes. It's best of 5.
Yeah.
So, for those who just joined us on Critscast, welcome back and welcome new players or new viewers here. We're watching Gimme opponent versus Feila eSports. We're moving on the second map off tonight, which is Koth Product. Best of 5. Whichever team gets, best of 5, will claim their points in that semifinal tonight and accelerate themselves towards the final match. Now, we do know that, Feila has won the first map, kind of closely matched, I believe. Like I said, they kind of pulled this win out of Lion's Maw, so it's not been an easy match for them, against Gimme opponent. They've been putting out a lot of defense, a lot of good, kind of resistance to Feila. But now we're moving on to this very, very high damage, very condensed and tight map that is product, kind of designed for sixes mostly than it is for HL, I believe.
Oh, Dieto's so much faster though.
Yeah, Dieto'd now putting some nice damage. He's already rejoined by his men. Actually, blue team, it's such a quick rollout here, and Newbie goes behind, all the way behind onto the launch box. But
but look at Joy, he's already in. He's already in, like, Layla's so weak, it's Crayon on Cliff as well. There's like, just Crayon just doing loads of damage on Cliff, and that's just forced the entirety of Feila out. The pure aggression is coming out here. I mean, Joe's rollout wasn't particularly slow. I'd say it was more of a passive choice just to go Valley here, but Dieto'd is going with this really aggressive rollout. And I think they're sort of mirroring a lot what the Beast sort of started doing in High Diz. Well, he's doing it right now, actually. At the start of the game, he'll just jump behind and just cause some chaos and make a big distraction. And there's two ways to react to that. Either you can send people behind to kill him, or you can just send people behind yourself. And when you're that much faster to mid, really, you want to send people behind yourself. And there's Kakarot down as well to Evil there, so there's no sniper for Feila pushing onto this point.
Oh, and Layla just surfs on those stickies. No launch pad or launch box for her so far, but she's been just kind of got out of dodge really closely, just with that 95% uber charge to her name. Now Nightmare has that 100%. They're popping immediately. Feila going into the enemy team, but Nightmare has his uber charge to counter that. They lose Stingin though. Crayon and Nipnap also going now in an engagement, but there come, just kind of the counter kills from Tuja there as well, just sitting on that rock as a heavy weapons guy. It's just people dying left and right. Joe down, DWO down, Samsky down. So many players down, but Gimme opponents still kind of holding this point. Somehow, somewhere, that Feila's offense, even though it looked very good on paper and they got initial kills, they lacked steam to push it all the way through and reclaim this point. As a result, Gimme opponent now on 1.5 minutes left to get the first point.
Oh yeah, Joe just at the end there just completely destroyed any kind of semblance of a Feila repush there. They are walking across the point now, trying to get some grounds. It is a dry situation. I think this is where Feila are at their strongest, to be honest. They've gotten all this ground here just for free, basically. Coco's on the medic, actually, he hasn't turned around. He's missed like 3 stabs. Oh, Coco, that's just, that's unlucky there. You know, sometimes your knife just doesn't go into the back, and it's a very sad day for you as a spy main. But that means that Nightmare's going to keep his advantage here.
Look how close this cap is just, to getting finished here. Oh, but Stingin gets headshot there, kind of taking a bullet for Layla, but Layla's just kind of left and right. Left and right, Layla is just dodging the bullets coming at her. The timer has ticked out, but Layla pops the overcharge, charges in with his Samsky, taking down Crayon, charges in forward, trying to take down Rez. And where is Nightmare? Nightmare's on the way to the respawn queue.
Joe just comes in on concrete, just puts some 6 onto grass, kills Nightmare, and then just pipes a soldier. Just Joe things.
Just Joe things.
It's just
making my way downtown, walking fast, faces bad, and I'm product. All right.
You're right, Jake.
I'm done. No, I'm very much not all right.
Okay. It's alright.
Yeah,
we've called the mental health professionals. It's
Coco Bear going behind, getting caught out completely by Rez there with the flames. No real issue if you have the flamethrower against the spy, and there was a lot of pressure coming out of the blue team here. Gimme opponent behind the rock, which is his favorite spot, but Joe just flies up. Where is he?
Yeah, Joe's just achieved the escape velocity to leave the solar system at this point. He goes in the skybox at 18 kilometers a second. He doesn't care. And that's why during all this we have a bit of a point play here coming in. Stinger's killed Rambosaur as well, so there's no engineer to build some annoying buildings. Stop the push coming in. And Joe's down as well to Duo, so... Yeah,
Gimme opponents seem to be in complete control of this. I mean, they have a good positioning. They have, Stingin kind of been winning those sniper battles against Kazarak. Kazarak is an amazing sniper of its own, but he doesn't really prioritize other snipers, whereas Stingin is just kind of like, okay, let's get down Kazarak, and we're good to go. And he's been doing a pretty good job at it. Now Joe has gone down in that push here, which is going to slow down Feila quite a bit. Now Vikus has gone down as well. Now Layla's pressured, sitting behind that rock, and there's so much damage coming out of Dito. She will not be able to stay along, for too much time longer. Now Joe goes really aggressive. He fought forward, catches the pill onto Rez. Going down is the Pyro, and only 10 seconds Well, left on the clock.
There's no Uber yet for Layla. I'm not sure if you realise they've actually got this very slight advantage. They're choosing to use relay onto the point here. If they use her, they could have gone Layla with that. You know, she's down to half health with just that. You know, it's 2 years actually on 16 health behind house. That's alright. You live with that. But yeah, but over time, with 1 minute 30 left, you know, you kind of do want this as a team. This is pretty good. They're just waiting for their respawns now. They want to keep the medic alive here because, you know, if they lose their heals, they can't play the point very well. But you know, yeah, it's looking really good here for Gimme opponent.
You know how it works, Solar, is that if you don't have the point, your respawns are faster. So basically, Gimme opponent are in a very comfortable position where they can use those respawns to their advantage. They can sacrifice 1 or 2 waves to kind of go for Layla, hope for the medic kill, and then push onto the point. Which, well, they're trying to do now. DWO goes in, and, well, he's still kind of staying there. Tuja's on the point right now. Crayon is as well. They're kind of edging and inching their way forward. Tuja's on the point with the Fistful Steel. Will he be able to actually cap this as the heavy weapons guy? He's so close.
Oh, he's baiting so many people forwards, and they just all ignored him. He's got an arrow as well. He's going to kill everything post-Uber if he can get focused. Finally, the spam comes in at the end, but look at this. There's so many people coming in. Nightmares uses Uber so late into the fight, and there should be a cap coming out here. Wow, that's really good. The way that Envision are just playing this, it's sort of like we have the, just the raw death ball strategy of Feila versus just the sort of like the slice, almost like a prowling strategy of Gimme opponent here. They'll just get a slight advantage, tiny bit of ground, a pick, they'll kill a sniper or just a soldier or something, and use it to their advantage. It's like a Komodo dragon slowly just stalking its prey 1 bite at a time. And look at that, Layla's down at the start of the mid-fight to the point. This will be the cue for Envision Gimme to start walking slowly forwards here.
Stinging with 2 kills there. Medic and a heavy in a succession, and slowing down Feila eSports so much. Joe is on low health, so is V-Clock, so is Rambazor, and now so is Kazarok after landing that good headshot onto Tuja. But that point belongs to Gimme opponent. There's no denying.
The scout's in though. He does kill Singing.
Samsky!
Get though. Yeah, Samsky's just, and then Joe's just coming forward. You can just see the complete difference there. You spoke about slowing down Feila. The strategy for Envision here, literally most teams, as Feila are doing now, they would just walk forward as soon as you get medipick at middle. You know, they would just go straight forwards, no fear at all. But Envision, they just slow the game down. They get that sniper pick and they slow it down, and they just try and create space for themselves. So instead of just walking forwards and just trying to kill everything, they just try and play the ground, and it's working, pretty well so far. I think when you're against a team with DM like Feila's, that's really the strategy that you want to go for. You know, they've had a few matches changes so far, but so far it's working. You know, they picked up Joe and Samsky, the assassination class coming out for Gimme opponent, just taking down really core members of the team there on product.
And the product is kind of known to be the spice playground. Really,
Rambazor, his crit fronted justice there will just snipe to you from across the point there.
Dude, just falling down to the really weird unlock, but on COF product actually works out. I mean, your mini synergy is bound to have some assists so you can use those crits to smash people in the face with. And now Kazarok's behind the rock, and as poetic as it sounds, claims the Pyro class. Now Rez going down, Wiethoofd as well. Nightmare has to get out of the situation after 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock for the Gimme opponent. Now finally Layla has capped with her team the middle point. Joe and UFC are getting really aggressive there, but they're kind of deciding, just hold behind the rock, the place they always hold at. And it's not just, I don't think it's a good idea here, Solars. Wiethoofd knows where they are. The entire blue team knows where they are, and they can just simply lob stickers until people just run out of the situation for your sniper to take them out. Yeah,
Nightmare does catch a pipe, though. He is in a precarious spot here. Kokobet is on cliff there as well, shooting at him. He is forced to use Uber in the end. Down to below 20 HP there, but Layla is going to have a really good counterpop there. And Nightmare's in a whole host of trouble. They're getting chased down by 3 players. Will eventually die there. No chance for him surviving. Yeah, that's just sad, really. When he got the spy on cliff there, it's really difficult as a manager to do anything about that, and when no one's killing the spy, you're just getting the roll. It's 30 damage at that range, just over and over. You can't do much about it.
And then Layla.
That was Joe though. There's the opening pick for Gimme opponent.
Well, you don't have demo on defense. I mean, you can still kind of manage with this, but
now it's only we got 2 here on the point now. He's really a tank.
Fists of steel.
There's no sticks to knock him off.
Just can't kill him, and look at this, just tanking damage. He's not being healed, and he's fine. He's just gonna eat his sandwich.
He's gonna eat
the exact same thing again.
He's fine. It's Tuya. He's a tank. Here we go. He's got his fists out. He's gonna sit on cliff now. He's a tank.
I love it. I love this. It works so well. Now, Kazarok gets a nice headshot on the Heavy, but Heavy has 300 health. And with a quick stop, you're not going to get one, but you're going to get one with a knife to the back. Nightmare going down. That is going to slow down this offense or defense coming out. The Gimme opponent. Layla pops her Uber immediately right after, which is good play here. Joe and UFC chases Tuya down. Tuya is low on the health. He's just going to eat another sandwich.
He's just a really hungry boy right now, you know? He's got all the Sammys in the world, and has he got the sandwich safe equipped? I've got no hats, so I can't tell. But I hope he has. You know, he's got like, you know, like in like Minions in like, you know, they got the little instant like bands of minions coming out in whatever game, like name any game. You know, it's like Tuya's got one of those sandwiches. Sadly, you will die to vehicles in the end though. But look at, there's only 4 left alive here, and 2 of the spawners for Feila here. But of course, because Envision got the point, they have worse respawn waves now. So this is the cue for Feila just to walk forwards here.
Nipnum getting cleaned up there by Samsky. Well done. And now Newbie comes in with a just jump onto Stingin
though.
Layla.
He gets Layla. He gets body shot onto Layla.
Just before he got hit by that rocket. If Newbie was just a second faster.
Yeah, like, Coco Bear does get him at the end there, but his work is pretty much out on this point. No heals and no sniper. That's so much free space to, like, just whittle Joe down's health bit by bit. There's no beam in his face. He's finally got Layla for company now on the respawn through main here. They're going to try and contest this, but look at the health there.
Evil though!
Yeah,
Evil gets Layla again!
Yeah, this is exactly what we want to do. We want to keep Layla down so Joe can't get his beam. But somehow in that chaos there, Samsky just comes in and just gets like a 4K. Kills the medic as well, you know, that's... You know?
Clean up crew. I mean, you know, Scout is so small and he's so fast, you usually just kind of treat him as a fly, you know. He's annoying, but he's not going to do much unless you really get him close!
Oh, Stingin. Mr. Manager. Air headshot onto Nubby. Very nice.
Sting is on fire. I mean, we've been kind of fawning over Kazark. Kazark has been just popping off season after season, but Sting is coming out on top of this one, I think, and he's been doing just such a stellar job for his team.
Oh, there we go. The manager takes out Joe again. That's going to end that.
Mr. Manager.
Yep.
Regional manager.
Well, the pen is mightier than the sword, they say, but I think Stinger's sniper rifle is better than both. He's taken down so many people here. We will eventually have his killings be ended by Kazarok here, but like, look at this. There's only 8 seconds left on the cap here, and it's forcing Feila to take initiative here and go forwards. And they're going to use, they're going on quick fix actually, like they wanted to go quick fix here just so they get it in time. But of course you can't cap with the quick fix in the current year. It got nerfed, Layla. Sorry.
Oh.
So despite the fact that you have a heavy who's getting like, you know, 300 health per second on the control point, you know, it's just, you can't cap it. So there's no one left. And that was 2 rounds here for Gimme opponent.
That's insanity. Joe being a slightly slower again. Wiethoofd actually very fast on the rollout. The Newbie tries to jump in, getting blasted away. Now Far has to get away from the situation, but Samsky comes in, takes down the enemy soldier, goes behind. Nobody really sees him. Nipnum kind of calls him out. He's gonna get dueled by Crayon. He does claim Crayon though. Oh, Crayon actually stays alive. And here Samsky goes down to the shotgun of Nipnup. That scout has been dealt with. Now Newbie's behind, jumping on the health back. He's low on health, getting cleaned up.
Oh, he does actually live in the end. Oh, that was... I'm going to say it was a bait play because, you know, everyone turned around at the right time and killed Joe. Definitely it wasn't luck at all. But yeah, they killed Joe here with the help of Tuya. And now it's going to be, you know, the key to maybe breaking this defense. But there's so many frags here for... and actually Nightmare's getting fragged as well by Samsky. Just pistols out at the end. Yeah, they chose to walk forward there when they were about 6 players down. Like 5 or 6 players down. That's not what we're doing. Like, neither team controls the points, so you both have the same respawns.
Oof, Joe.
Eventually.
Caps the point, claps the point by himself pretty much.
Easy clap cap.
Easy clap cap. It's gotta be the emote from now on. Easy clap cap. There he goes. Joe just caps the point or claps the point by himself. Now puts just look at this carpet of stickies. Just kind of sticks up the point, and they're so hard to see those red stickies on the ground that it's going to be difficult for the blue team to actually spot him out before they actually reach the point.
Big jump in from Dwo there. He's on cliff now. He's going to get completely mulched by the heavy and the pyro though. Very unfortunate there. But Coco Bear is actually on cliff. I'm not sure if he's been spotted. Like the pyro's in completely the wrong direction here. But Coco Bear opting. I'm not sure what happened there, but you know.
Uber comes out.
The Uber's coming in from Feila anyway, so
might as well use it. Look,
but Tuya's got another Sammy.
Newbie and Joe, the duo just blast glasses. Newbie just gets destroyed there by DWO, but just before that, Here Rambo comes out with the pistol. Pistols down DW. No more soldier for the blue team. And Layla with her team, 1 minute down, 2 to go. They're holding this position and they're pretty, you know, confident about it.
So as it turns out, apparently the counter to Envision is to hold W and jump them. Like, this seems to be working out really well for Joe so far. He's got like 3 people just jumping in forwards onto Cliff here. But look at this, they've already bled their flank, their scout and their heavy here. And Kazarok's got to pick onto Rez here, but and Singen actually from the looks of things, so he's on the rock here. It's going to be a tall order here for Gimme to walk into this gap.
Well, it's very difficult for the main team to actually push into this one if you have a sniper on the rock right now and nobody's really pressuring him. Evil
though he
behind.
does get Joe.
That's crucial. That's crucial on the defense right now. Layla has
Bear,
no damage classes.
Yeah, Coco Bear on 2, yeah. He does get the frag in the end. There's no heavy on this Cliff here. No more sandwich tank.
Dude, here's DW getting mulched by Newbie.
Farm.
Ooh. How is DW? What? Newbie actually getting 2 kills there, and Coco Bear gets 1 as well. This whole offense getting dismantled yet again, and now 2 minutes down, 1 to go for Feila. And Gimme opponent don't really have a response to that. They've won 2 points back to back, and now they're struggling to even get themselves any presence on the point.
Yeah, now I think Feila are playing a little bit more smart. Like, they're still walking forward, but Kazarok's actually dead to evil. That's the opening that they want. They're getting their pick classes in, just getting all these picks on Envision, so they're sort of saying, okay, you can play the slow game for as long as you want, but we're just going to pick you while you're trying to do it. And then as soon as you actually try and speed it up and walk forwards, we're just going to use our bet at the end and walk into you. But Sigan actually does take out Dito in the end of that.
Oh, what an error shot by Newbie on the stick there. That's huge. Just popped him in the air and then just shot him in the air as well, just finishing him off. And Nightmare somehow survives out of this situation, building that uber charge. He has the advantage.
Tuya wants to walk in though.
They have to. Yeah. They don't have time.
Yeah, Tuya's just like going to be a tank on the point here. Nightmare uses Zuber on the point. Doesn't want to use it on his heavy for too long though. That's what we'll be able to get this cap. Does kill Nubby and Kazarok's dead as well, but later has been staying alive in main here without Demo Man. And now just backing up off the spawn. Feila have realised they've got 3 minutes to work with here. All they have to do is finish a cap on the point, and then they've won this round.
A singular cap on the point will grant them the point that they need. And now Layla has the advantage, which is what they'll probably need. They have faster respawns, they have the advantage. All it really takes is for Layla to stay alive until she pops the uber charge. Kazarok takes down Crayon, no more pesky scouts on the field. Comes the aggression, Joe and UFC with Samsky just charging in forward. Joe goes all the way behind. Now he's gonna put some sticks onto Tuja the tank, and then Tuja the tank turns around, but there's just so much distraction going on from Feila's team. Perfectly executed,
yeah,
and just nobody on the point for the blue.
There just isn't much you can do about that. Like, your choice is either you want to look at the soldier jumping, you look at the uber jumping, or look at the point, and if you do any one of those, you lose. If you don't have an uber charge of your own, like, even if you do, like, that aggression there, that's the Feila aggression that we really want to see from them. That's really been, you know, their main counter against the slow playstyle of Envision so far. And 2 people from Gimme opponent there just bumped a spy, and no one turned around. So that's always interesting. But yeah, just the war of attrition going on so far. No frags down as of yet, but Coco Bear now does take down Tuya. Maybe a little bit open here for some bombs coming in, a few sacks. Yeah, that'll be a Feila walking forwards onto the control point. But Joe is sent to the moon. He does get, not even a crater. Crater has been denied, but D-Toad actually is the one who craters in the end to Samsy's countergun.
Layla's so low on health, she doesn't have anybody to really throw her sandwich or heal up. Middle now rejoins her, she's low on health. Anybody will actually kill her off?
Oh, Nubby at the end.
Uber comes out just in case. I mean, Layla just split-second reaction to get that Uber off. I think if she got shift, she would have died there.
Oh no, that jump at the end from Nubby, like, they need to shut down the flank and the pick classes here. Like, they're doing so much work for Feila here. The Gimme opponent just haven't got any response to it. They've just got Nobby just in the air, just going at like all around, just causing havoc, clean up everything. They got the spy on them as well, you know. And Samsy as well. Every fight always seems to be there cleaning up. Well, if the fight's still scrappy, you know, they're just not shutting down this flank at all. And yeah, again the pick classes as well. Coco Bear just taken down a Nightmare. So again, this is really not looking good for Gimme opponent. It's a really strong start to the map.
Gimme opponent really kind of struggle to put themselves on the point right now. Tuja the tank just kind of edging his way forward with Crayon.
Like they
do finish the cap, but wasn't actually a good idea. They have a lot of players down. They don't really have anybody to secure and hold this point with. And on the other side, Layla and her team have pretty much everybody in position to stop it from being, well, reclaimed. Layla has also 100%. Newbie goes flying up in the air. She's on fire. But unfortunately does not take anybody else but Stingen, which I do believe is enough. He's been a complete nightmare in, addition to the nightmare on his team for the opposition. And, well, it worked out. I mean, 1 for 1 is fine.
I mean, now that Feila have controlled the point again in Vision, I've got a little bit of time to work with here, but they just haven't walked forward at all, so... I suppose they're scared of Layla having this advantage. I think their play before to bait the cap, I think they thought that Layla's advantage would be bigger than it actually was. But of course, Layla couldn't get forced because she didn't have an Uber charge to work with. So that was just a problem with that. Now they're a bit timid to walk forward. We've got 2 here on the point though. He's got it physically late, he's calling his sticks, and the Uber does come out. This time the bait play does work, but they've got to keep Nightmare alive this time. He's being jumped by Joe, and it's only Joe, and he does get reflect killed there by Rez. Very nice denial there at the end. They will be re-pushing it for Concrete. They have lost Dito during the fight, but Nightmare has got a bit of an advantage on his side. Because they're going to try and re-push from this left side. Very interesting place to push from, really. But it seems to be working thus far. They've gotten a few frags to them, but no, the Nightmare's all alone, though. That is a downside to it. We have a flank down. Crucial.
Tuya now is going to have to go down, and so is Dito. And it's a complete wipe coming out from Feila eSports onto Gimme opponent. And they even put themselves on the board. They've tried so hard and got so far, but unfortunately in the end, they didn't even manage to get the point here. And now Feila still holds the point. Even those late respawns, they still have their positioning well executed here on the cliffside. And even, I said before, they always stick on the same exact side. They rarely ever kind of go out of there. They only go out of there if they have the Uber charge, or if they're pushing the enemy team, and that's only like, what, 2 times per minute, or 2 times per 2 minutes. So, they're just not leaving that position. It's so easy for Dito to just spam them out, but he's not giving any room.
I haven't seen a single high bomb into pocket since the second round, like from Joe and Dito. Like they just haven't done it at all. They're just going for this point play, like just knocking their heads against the wall over and over, just seeing how much countdown they can get. But in the end, of course, Feila has sort of worked out. They said, okay, if you want to sap people in for the cap, we'll just give you the cap, and then you got 20-second respawns. But, oh, look at the claps here, Dito!
Easy
coming
clap.
Coming in with Crayon just at the end, and they've just got some Rambo biceps though.
Double.
The mini Sentry was the strongest player of them all. Cleans everyone up at the end. And that's going to be probably a cap here for Feila. There's no one anywhere close apart from Nipnop. He's just an engineer. That's going to be 2-all here on product.
That's insane. Like, I don't even believe what's happening right now, but Feila somehow is turning this one on its head yet again. I mean, they had trouble on Steel, and in the end they won. And then now they had trouble on Product, and still, they got 2 wins in a row. And now it's all down to the 3rd point of the game. The last point, whoever wins this one, will kind of decide whether we go to the 3rd map, or we'll see Feila eSports in the finals of UGC. But we shall see. Layla is in trouble as Evil gets a stab onto her. No more medic for the red team. They're low on the health. They don't have players, and Joe just
Joe's
blasts off like Team Rocket, and Kratos just like one as well.
Credit where credit's due. He did go for the edge bug. He very nearly got it, but that is, that's a frame perfect thing you got to do there. Well, hammer unit perfect, I should say. Very small margin of error. You're not going to get that at that speed. I'm sorry, Joe. But, he did go for it, and he's dying again to Singen. Like, the pick class 0 is combining. Like, Kazarot does kill Singen at the end here. Sniper's just a popping off today on this map.
Oh, but Layla.
Oh, Layla.
She spent most time in the respawn queue this round than on the field.
See, maybe Joe's just listening to the stream now. Like, he's going for these bombs onto Layla and just killing her. Maybe Envision have just sort of realised that they have to kill the mate to get any kind of advantage if their play style to work. And currently they're sitting fairly comfortably. They killed Joe once again. This is reminiscent of the first 2 rounds here. I think Envision have maybe found their footing again.
Yeah, they may have. I mean, they're in control at the point. Already 40 seconds have elapsed. Now, the team is holding pretty much mirror hold on that cliffside below and above, with Tuja kind of holding down the fort, Nightmare healing everybody. He's 100%, Layla only 50. Ooh, Coco Bear stabs WO, Stinging going down, and Evil as well. That's 3 down for the blue players. They have to pop the Uber charge if they want to have to do anything. V-Clock's delays this push, but it's enough for Layla to get out of this situation. Now Dito jumps in, Rocket Man, shit, just goes behind, gets 1 more 2 sticks, and that's enough!
just gets it. It's Dito, dude. I don't know what to say. The scout is trying to rush down the medic as best he can, but he's got like the entire team for company. And oh, they even capped the point, so they delay the medic spawn by like another 6 seconds. 50% advantage here for Gimme opponent.
Absolutely incredible here. Gimme opponent actually kind of
got Kazza as well, so he can just walk straight in. This is amazing for them.
He's not really just having a good time on this map here, just being focused down by Stingin and Evil all the time, and he's a huge point for the team, you know, kind of like an anchor that they can lean on, but this time around, he's not having a good time here. DWO hitting the skybox on the flank, but playing Samsky, just a lot of skirmish going from the flank classes on the side of the blue lunchbox.
Oh, that's kind of sad. I'd be annoyed if that happened to me, to be honest. And like, once again, Stingin kills Joe, and Kazrock is down to Evil. Like, they realise what the fall in their sides here. I mean, like, Kazrock is top scoring for his team. Like, he's the only people he's having an issue with seem to be Stingin and Evil right now. Just they got his number at the moment.
But, you know,
look at
like you said,
Toad is currently on 92 points.
Maybe they're listening to the stream, or maybe they just have a sixth sense. But, you know, like I said, they all the time, Feila is holding on the same exact side, in the same exact position, doing the exact same things. And so far, it hasn't worked out for Gimme opponent. They had to put some classes to jump in, just as Newbie does, but he creates enough distraction to force Nightmare and take down 3 or 4 classes.
Yeah, Leia does have the Uber charge this time, though, so there's going to be no Dito killing her, but Dito's actually opting to spawn camp, I think. He's going for an MG against Nubby there. Sadly, it is sold against Emma, so we will lose that in the end. And Feila have managed to capture the point during that.
Yeah, I mean, still, Gimme opponent in the lead right now with 1 minute and 7 seconds to go, as opposed to 1 and 45 for Feila. But it's looking pretty promising here. Newbie actually just getting destroyed off of Crayon's face. And now the entire blue team is coming out with force. Ubers are about equal. Neither medic has them. So it really could be anybody's point. Now, on the point is walking slowly but steadily. Nipnut with Dito, putting some nice spam. V-Clux trying to stop it from being capped, but that's not going to work out too well. Layla is still holding on up on the cliff, but so is Tuja with Nightmare. And it's kind of, you know, the
Ubers are exactly equal as well. Look at that, they're both on, like, just ticking up one by one exactly. This is like one of the most even fights you could hope for on this map. But look at this, the positioning comes in and Layla just gets 2-piped by Dito. You know? Oh, Tuya very well out there with his crew.
Working out. Finally.
They have capped the point though, that they have the Uber, but they're going to have to use it to deny the point here. This is not what you want to do, and oh, Nightmare does use it in the end, but he's so far away. There's no cat time though, so Kazrock's probably going to get chased down here. They've looked at the heavy. Kazrock is getting chased down here, but no, Crown's opting to go for Layla here. Layla does get a solo! That actually could be the turning point. Yeah, Nightmare's dead as well.
Cannot get any hits in, and now Layla not only, you know, gets killed down, but she's actually getting Noobers out for her trouble. She's on 40%, but doesn't have anybody to help her out. But the team for her actually caps the point with 1 minute to go. 30 seconds for Gimme opponent. Now Kazrock's on the point right now, takes down Nipnop. Samsky is just destroying those buildings right now, destroying any sort of hold that the blue team had, and it's all in the camp of GO to actually go for a GO and maybe win against Feila eSports. I mean, they have to do this if they want to stay in the game. And you know, we possibly could still go to the third map, but no!
Oh, the final.
Nightmare!
Yeah, Nightmare just goes down to Kazrock in the end, and all Feila has to do now is use a Ruber onto the point, just kill everybody. There's 20 seconds left, so maybe they can get a DM fight afterwards. There is no Kaz, there is no V-Clux. They have worse respawns, but we got Middle now just on the cliff here. He knows just to get forwards here. He's actually hiding on cliff here. You know, he's very smart here. He doesn't going to flood through main here. Only 10 seconds left. And now they have to go to the point. The backstage has come out from Nightmare here. Just trying his very best. Of course, he can have that resistance and still cap it. That's probably GG at this point. Not gonna lie.
We don't know yet, but there's only 2 people up for the blue team. The timer is ticking very quickly. Comes Dito. He gets completely just surfed away by the Pyro. And now Newbie tries to go in. Dito still fights for his life. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Feila eSports clutches the win away from Gimme opponent in 2 very close quarter, very closely matched maps. In the end, they come out victorious and move in onto the finals of UGC 27th season. Wow.
Oh, that's kind of heartbreaking, really, for Gimme opponent. I mean, after starting off Steel so confidently and just so well. And it's sort of the same thing on product as well. Like they started off really well, and then they just sort of let it get away from them, and it came back a little bit at the end. But again, just these little tiny misplays, or just hero plays from the other team. Like you saw it on Steel. That's how they lost their golden cap on Steel. It's how they're losing these last rounds here. Just these clutch plays coming out from Feila, and these tiny misplays coming out, just coming back to bite them at the end. You know, like, I think so far, Gimme opponent, you know, they've only lost one game so far this season to SCCK. You know, Feila are actually having a worse UGC season than what is basically just Envision. Well, of course, now Envision are sort of stuck in the third place spot, so that means that Joe gets to play for his another grand final spot, looking to improve on his second place finish from last season. Look, I like to bring it up every time just because it's a little bit of TF2 trivia. Like, I don't think we actually do have the numbers for this, but I'm pretty certain that Joe has the most second place, like, platinum and premiership medals out of any TF2 player.
He might,
So this season he really is going to look to get his UGC premium first place, I reckon.
I mean, at this point, I would just settle for second places all the time, honestly, because it's a collection now, and it's a growing collection, so you might as well. I mean, it's more impressive. It's really more impressive to have that many second places.
Get 200 of them. Put them in.
Exactly.
Collect a
really
second place medal.
It's really impressive they have that many second place medals and none of the first ones, so, you know, might as well just go for another season. But we're gonna quickly move on to the logs. I mean, it's not really surprising to see Kazarok and, well, Stingen kind of topping the charts for their teams, respective teams. 39 kills on Kazarok, 32 on Stingen, but then Samsky and Newbie with 38 and 32 kills, respectively, the Scout and the Soldier for the red team here. And, well...
Surprised at how close the damages are.
Yeah,
just like, you know, like Joe, you know, he's got 551, but Vito's at 517. Like, for the losing team as well, like... That's especially for, like, the slower play style when he's being less aggressive, and Singen as well. Singen and Kazar are within 5 DPM of each other. You know, that's pretty good. Like, 35 headshots to 36 headshots. There's nothing really in that. You know, but, like, Samsky, though, just getting those 38 frags, just cleaning up pretty much everything afterwards. It's just really good. Like Nubby as well, 32 frags. Like you can really sort of see like the differences there. Like Crayon did well, got 27 kills, but then Dwo 24. You know, he's got the damage, but a lot of his kills I think were just sort of onto like key targets such as Layla a lot of the time. But he didn't really do any bombs for 2 rounds. So I think that really impacted their game a lot.
Yeah, and there's one thing I wanted to point out that I actually noticed during this game is what Feila eSports actually did with their push every single time they had an Uber. And I'm going to coin this term because I don't think that I kind of thought this through, this kind of a spontaneous thing, I believe. It looked like it. But they went for this kind of fireworks strategy where Layla pops the Uber charge if they have the advantage and it's a Koth map. What they do is she flashes Joe, she flashes Newbie, and flashes Samsky. All 3 classes just getting flashed. And basically, one after another, after they get flashed, they just fly up and go as far as they can behind enemy lines. And every single time it worked out, because when you have those 3 classes just kind of go into 3 different spots, literally on the other side of the map, you basically go for this clamp on the team. You know, you have your heavy and pirate pushing from one side, then you have your demo soldier and scout from the other, and you know, the enemy team doesn't really have anywhere to run or anywhere to hide because there's just so much damage coming from every single side. And that fireworks thing is just worked out so perfectly well for them. We saw Joe just going max speed 5 every single time Uber was coming out, not really caring about just sticking with Hermetic. And it worked out. It really worked out for them. You know, they pulled through 3 rounds back-to-back, and well done to them. Well done going into finals. Yeah,
like, you know, best of luck to them. I mean, Gimme opponent still gets to play for 3rd place, but, you know, against the loser of SCK in the Art of Throwing game, I'm actually just... I know the policy is no spoilers, but we did wait, like, an hour for this game to start, so... no, there actually hasn't been a result put through yet, so we'll never know the result. So, Gimme opponent will be facing the loser of Art of Throwing versus Super Dickmans for the 3rd place of this season. So the season is like not quite over. They got the consolation prize going there, but yeah, like, you know, like the jumping forwards of your Ubercharge strategy. You know, we come to see that a lot more on Viaduct, really, just because like the map is so small. that you can basically just do one jump and just strafe around to whichever route the medic's going to run away in, especially for like a demo man, so you got a really fast, really high jump going in. And you sort of saw that whenever Nightmare successfully juked his way out of something and he had someone with him, nobody would be on the other side of the map, so the only person really jumping in was Joe. So then Joe was able to be denied by Rez a few times, but the thing is, the amount of times that Joe actually did that jump successfully far outweighed the times it was denied, so it really just meant that Envision a lot of the time were on the back foot, which, strangely enough, in the first 2 rounds seemed to suit their playstyle, but they just seemed to just lose it for the next 3 rounds. They got back at the end a little bit, but it just wasn't enough, sadly.
Well, the game is over. We're going to really quickly toss it over to TeamFortress.tv for some E6's 6v6 action, so stay tuned. But before that, please do check us out over at critscast.com. Also, you can do critscast.com/merch to help us out a little bit. Subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps, and every little bit of those proceeds will go towards the Copenhagen LAN support for the team who's producing. But that will be it for me and Solar with Wiethoofd on production. Thank you very much for watching, and well, see you over at TF.tv.
Hi, old beaver! Away!